marriage of disaster. The diplomacy of the marriage between Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette.
1774. This was the year that started the hardships in France, for this was when Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette took the French throne. At barely 20 years old, Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI were not ready to rule their country. In fact, neither wanted the responsibility. Marie Antoinette was married into the French royal family and never wanted to marry Louis XVI to begin with. The miscommunication of the king and queen helped to start the French Revolution. Because of Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI's diplomatically arranged marriage, there was a lot of tension between Austria and France. Also, this wedding was one of the main causes of the French Revolution, considered one of the bloodiest revolutions in history.
Marie Antoinette was born Marie Antonia Josepha Johanna on November 2, 1755, to Maria Theresa and Charles VI, Emperor and Empress of Austria. Even when Marie Antoinette was little, her mother planned for her to marry into the French royal family. An alliance with the French made a great deal to Maria Theresa. She saw the marriage into the French royal family as a way to keep this alliance and make it durable for her. She chose Marie Antoinette out of all of her daughters because she was the same age as the heir to the French throne, Louis Auguste. She didn't care about her daughter's feelings about the marriage.
So long as she fulfills her duty toward God and her husband and earns her salvation, even if she is to be unhappy, I will be pleased,
said Maria Theresa concerning Marie Antoinette. Maria Theresa did not use violence to get what she wanted. Instead of using violence to gain power, she used diplomacy. However, Louis XV, the King of France, didn't want his grandson to marry Marie Antoinette because the alliance with Austria was criticized by France, and he also didn't like Maria Theresa. To help convince Louis XV to allow his grandson to marry Marie Antoinette, her mother decided to educate her and provided a tutor. She wanted the tutor to get very close to Marie Antoinette so that once she was sent off to France, her tutor would go as well and act as a spy, bringing back any information for Maria Theresa. In April 1769, when Marie Antoinette was 13, Louis XV finally gave in to Maria Theresa's plan after seeing her daughter at a ball. The wedding date was set for May 16th of the following year.
The new couple knew nothing about each other. Louis Auguste was unattractive, shy, plain, had no common sense, although he did have a good education, was insensitive, and couldn't look people straight in the face. This was because he was unloved by his parents, who preferred his older brother. So he never loved in anyone and confided in no one, especially his new wife. However, Marie Antoinette was beautiful, intelligent, reliable, and not interested in politics. Therefore, neither of them wanted to get married. They had no choice in the matter. So, in April, a month before the wedding, Marie Antoinette was sent to France.
When she first arrived, it was a big event. After the marriage, there were many festivities as well. The day after the wedding, Marie Antoinette was introduced to the French people. As a couple, Louis Auguste and Marie Antoinette did not connect well at all. The people were getting angry at Marie Antoinette because her only job was to give birth to an heir to the throne, which she was not doing. Also, people disliked her because she was foreign, she disrupted royal ceremonies, and she didn't honor customs. In 1774, Louis Auguste became Louis XVI, King of France, and Marie Antoinette became the Queen. 4 years later, Marie Antoinette gave birth to her first child, Marie-Thérèse Charlotte, which gained her some respect. However, her new respect was soon lost as the country became more and more in debt.
Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI were blamed for the horrible financial state of France. Marie Antoinette helped the poor people of France by providing money and food, which put the country more in debt. Also, she had gambling problems, which led the country even more into debt. Marie Antoinette liked to buy much expensive clothing and accessories, which were not needed. Therefore, she was given the name Madame de Fissy, meaning Mrs. Debt. France fell even more into debt because of Louis XVI's generous donation to helping the American Revolution, because France was an enemy to Great Britain and wanted America to succeed. Therefore, the people despised Marie Antoinette. This was one of the major causes of the French Revolution that was yet to come.
The Women's March on Versailles was one of the major reactions to the horrible marriage and country's debt due to Marie Antoinette. Because of their debt, Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI were forced to raise the price of bread, which upset the women of France. Although there were many protests before this, This was the protest that jeopardized the safety of the king and queen. During the protest, the woman demanded that Louis XVI sign the Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen, and that the king and queen move to Paris. Louis XVI agreed to sign the declaration, but hesitated in moving to Paris. The king's hesitation to comply to the people's demands upset the woman even more. A big wave of women broke into the castle on October 5, 1789, massacring all of the guards and searching for Marie Antoinette. The women wanted attention from Louis XVI, so they decided to go after the queen, intending to kill her. Finally, Louis XVI agreed to move to Paris. This was the last time they saw Versailles. Once the king and queen arrived in Paris, they were the prisoners of the people. The king was forced to sign law after law, slowly giving away power.
After living in Paris for over a year, Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI thought up a plan to flee to Austria, leaving Paris behind. The idea was that they would ask Austria's army for help in overthrowing the revolution, giving Louis XVI his power back. Because Marie Antoinette was from Austria, they were able to ask them for help. Disguised as commoners, Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI tried to escape to Austria. In Varennes, near the border of Austria, the king and queen were caught by many guards, who escorted them back to Paris, arresting them for treason. Although the king and queen's relations with Austria started as a good thing, the relations backfired when they were arrested. The people of France felt abandoned because the king and queen were leaving them for Austria, their enemy. The people felt that they no longer needed or wanted a king. After the flight to Varennes, Austria threatened France, saying if any harm came to Louis XVI or Marie Antoinette, Austria would destroy France. Instead of waiting to see what happened, France declared war on Austria, although they were not ready for this war. The marriage between Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI was supposed to break the tension between the two countries, but it didn't, and the result was war. The war caused even more tension between Austria and France than before.
Revolutionaries decided that the beginning of a new republic can only start with the death of the king. Louis XVI is put on trial for treason in a time of war. His trial was quite unfair, and he was convicted of betraying his people. He was sentenced to death on January 20th, 1793, and was executed by the guillotine. The death of her husband greatly affected Marie Antoinette, and she fainted at the sound of the guillotine. 8 months later, Marie Antoinette was jailed, and her son is taken away from her. The French Revolution weakened her. She was accused of treason in depleting the national treasury. However, she was brave and showed no defeat throughout her trial.
Courage! I have shown it for years. Think you I shall lose it at the moment when my sufferings are to end?
Like her husband, Marie Antoinette had an unfair trial and was sentenced to death on October 15, 1793. While she thought she was going to get a closed wagon to bring her to the guillotine, like Louis XVI did, all she got was a wooden crate on wheels. When she was brought to the guillotine, people were yelling and throwing things at her. She walked up to the guillotine with dignity. Then, the last queen of France was dead.
They were married, although one would not call them husband and wife, for they were not in love. Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI were two completely separate people who were brought together by Marie Antoinette's mother, who used diplomacy. Their unsuccessful marriage led to many disastrous events to come. Because the people of France hated Marie Antoinette so much, they were not sympathetic towards her, and they eventually killed her. This marriage was a disaster waiting to happen.